another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever.
Hello, this is Norma69 and this is From the Depths. I am planning on a new Nether campaign playthrough, and these are my little starting units which I made for the new stable and for the Nether settings 2019, which are here. And just let's go and see what units I have. For the beginning ones, there are my almost usual buildings, and of course these two little fortresses which can hold a lot of resources and have some repair tentacles, respawn beacon and teleport pod because I would like to use them. And here we have a tractor beam which could be turned by this little ACB to simulate for units like this one. When I want to test the roll and pitch controls, and I can see while building, if I just turn them sideways, how they are trying to work. On the second one, I have a not really perfect refinery, which automatically switches itself off if I have fuel on this unit. So, for the little ones, and I just read them for you to see the costs. Costs are raised mostly, it's my experience, in this current stable. So, we have the Gubasto, which means somebody hunkering down in Hungarian, and this one fires missiles, and this one fires torpedoes. And they have some energy generation which are not needed. But as you can see, all of my units are on the same resource group and helping out each other. So anything near to these units get a little energy boost and of course repairs. And most of my units can mine too, so that is a feature of my faction. So this one fires missiles, as I told you before, and this one fires torpedoes, and one of the missiles and torpedoes contains respectively a missile and a torpedo buoy, just to provide better detection, because I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, that the nearer your detection is to the enemy, the better detection data you get. And of course, all of my factions via an intra-vehicle transmitter share the detection information. So this is the first unit which will provide above water detection for all around. There is a third one, which is called simple ammo depot. It contains an AI, some resource containers and repair tentacles, and mostly ammo, which it radiates around and helps out other units to have more ammo around it. As you can see, keep no ammo at all. It should give it out. The fourth one of my defensive emplacements is a solution, because if you have buildings on the seafloor, the most dangerous things you can have are torpedoes. So it has some anti-torpedo torpedoes with passive sonar, of course, because you need a passive sonar for them to work. And it has a smaller flak cannon, which has an anti-missile controller at priority 1 and a normal weapon controller at priority 0. So it is shooting at torpedoes. And if there are no torpedoes, it's shooting at the enemy units. I just show you that it has a 1 degree inaccuracy because I discovered that it works better than because flak explosion is huge, and then it don't try to pinpoint and point towards exactly the enemy missile, uh, which is good because if you got this accuracy down to the minimum, then the barrel just vibrates and tries to target exactly at the enemy ordnance. All right. And it is called the splitter toad. Let's see. The first unit, it is the second unit where I tested the new AI settings, and it's really stable, even when it resonates. Its main function is to provide above water detection by a radar and a laser targeter. And of course, it has some simple weapons and some downward facing missiles, which you can see here, because at the basic settings, the target prioritization cards in the AI factions, and if you just put it down, uh, likes to shoot at high up targets. So this confuses the enemy, provides some radar coverage above water for those underwater emplacements, and generally being a nose scan and annoyment. Even it has a little smiley face under it, as you can see. Okay, my second attempt on the new AI, which is more stable, is this Nurgle Arcel unit. It has small missiles behind this holoprojector and medium torpedoes. Of course, they are set up by their separate weapon controllers that missiles don't fire at underwater targets and torpedoes don't fire at above water targets. It has two cannons, which I need to show you this way, or else my viewpoint will switch back to my avatar. So I have on this cannon a flak smoke combined time fused shell, which prevents laser things from working and takes down outside detection components easily. On the other turret, it's a fixed turret, of course, I have a simple squash head because I heard that the squash head contains an inertial fuse or has an effect like an inertial fuse. And as every of my units are some proof of concepts, they are maybe strange, but I like it this way. All right, and just one more thing. Oblique can be used as really nice railings. All right. So this unit is a long-range artillery one, and its concept is that it uses the point at AI behavior, so I don't need turrets on it. Fine. Let's see the next one. As I like to build orc units, even as my faction is called Vulcan Inquisition from Star Trek, you know. So I made this little submarine. It's not really fast. It's a concept of using 4 propellers for stabilization. I have the ammo back here covered with bricks, and when they blow up, they don't take any other part of the unit. If you can tell me a way to find easier graphics for holoprojectors which has transparent backgrounds and could be linked easily, that would be good, as this unit is called sub-mace, and the orc has axes. One with a mace would be better, but I just found this. It has some small missiles, not missiles, torpedoes, but the main thing is this mace. You will see it in operation, and this is the only unit which couldn't raise itself if it hits ground. This just works underwater, not like this one, which is a submarine, really, and it has in the nose, if I just find the right angle, a pack cannon, which is not so, that doesn't consume a lot of energy, but it still gives out a really nice punch, and I could change its damage type on the fly, of course. And could you tell me, because I have two loops of pack tubes here, and this is the main damage, and I have two other. Oh no, this is the main damage, and I have two other. Is this pack shoots out three lines of particles? Because I never saw it. I just saw one, but maybe because it's so accurate to long distances too. And the thing I'm proud of about it is this little, very well Tetris together unit, which is 5 by 5 by 5. And it can move above water, underwater. As you can see, it has some propellers, so it's an underwater version. But it avoids terrain really good, so I could take it out to dry land. And in the middle, it has a two-way turret which holds a tractor beam, and that holds this outer shell, which has in the back the power generation and in the front the pack. And some of them together with different kinds of damage are working really good. When an enemy is around, it sinks below the water, and of course, when there is no enemy around, it just hovers above the water. For example, to be able to collect resources, as all of my units are resource collectors and builders. That is my faction. And lastly, here is a not so cheap, even after the update, version of the Canet, which is a airship, a compact airship made from cannons, really. It has two huge side plates, which it can turn down if it goes above an enemy unit. And on the bottom, it has MATI 83s, a big three-prong cannon with different kinds of evil shells, two accurate cram cannons with all the damage type I can dream of, and of course two cannons. One of them each is the usual flak variation, which also can target missiles and torpedoes. The others contain other kind of nastiness, some small missiles and torpedoes on the sides. We have medium torpedoes and missiles here with the usual radar and sonar buoy configuration. And lastly, these are my lamps. Simple lasers, the small two-way turrets having sieves and the local weapon controller together. Anti-missile controller. Anti-missile controller is one more priority than the simple weapon controller. The range of the simple laser is 500 meters, so I set it up to 700 meters to be able to target the enemy missile or torpedo. And it works pretty well. So at 700 meters, it targets the enemy missile and begins to fire. It has a wind up, the simple laser. And then when the missile reaches 500 range, it can take it down and uses not a lot of power. So these are the beginning units. I'm working on some more. And of course, before I forget, this is my Fortress of Knee. It's a concept too. It's not really cheap, but has a huge amount of power and ammo inside. I try to stack some shielding pipes over here. And the upper part is a big turret really, where I have different kinds of shells. For example, this is my disruption shell, 2 EMP, a smoke for fancies, and the proximity fuse, which somehow works like when the shell is 8 meters away from the enemy, it teleports inside. So don't use this. This is cheese. Cheese is bad, except if you are playing alone at home and nobody sees it. And this cannon is a simple shape charge one. I try to experiment with time fuse that maybe the particles will go into the enemy that way, even if it explodes before or on a shield. And this one has a really simple shell. It's a high explosive at max gauge and has a time fuse too. And I was surprised to discover that a max gauge high explosive is this small explosive range. Maybe it's not small because it's 16 meter diameter. And of course we have the, no, not this. We have the knights who say knee, and the entrances are shaped like knee. I think this arrangement is really good. This is a concept too, to provide entrance to your ship or windows to your ship, which couldn't be exploded like glass, because I think these holes count as field. So in reality, they shouldn't have any gaps in here. And it rests on this little pin thing, so it could be placed safely on the C button. Alright, now I'm finished with this unit showcase, and I hope you will like the Nether campaign, which I will so nicely provide for you. It was normal 69, and bye bye.